But years ago, reading and writing when you were a kid wasn't as essential as it is now.
Oh, just as essential.
I mean, you took up a trade, and you could be
yeah, but you still had it.
You should
It's
know.
great to know how to read and write.
Oh, sure. Communicate with letters and stuff if you could read and write.
Math is, well, you know, it's just an ordinary arithmetic book. But, you know, you could get advanced math in those days too. Elaborate more on the multiplication tables and division and so forth.
Yeah, I think some of it was the insistence of the people at home too made a difference on whether or not you did well in school. It still does. It's still the same way.
If there was a mother that had taught school, the children would be more advanced in literature and schooling than there was somebody that was sitting back of a plow or sitting on a plow or milking a cow. That's all they knew.
I knew a girl one time that knew her dad made her learn the multiplications to 25. She could multiply as fast with 2 times 2 as you know you could as she could with 23 times 25. You know, she could pop that sucker off right in there. That's the only person I ever run into that multiply like that. But he made her learn that when she was just a little kid.
With the computers the way they are now, they didn't even learn the multiplication table. If they get out here on the open prairie someplace, they're going to figure out the cost of a unit. They got no idea unless they got their computers with them.
It's a hard deal. I tried to teach that to Mike and Pat to be able to figure in their head, and they do pretty good. They just like that flight instructor told me one time about finding a heading, and I always had a tough time with finding the headings. And he come up with this thing of adding 100. If you're going to turn 90 degrees, you want to know the heading you're going to stop at. And he said if you're going to turn 90 degrees to the right, you just add 100 and subtract 10. And that made it a lot simpler to find the 90-degree turn than trying to figure out where 90 was from there.
That's true, very true.
You break everything to tens, hundreds, and thousands, and then come from there. Why it makes you can get a rough idea of where you're at real quick. I tried to teach the boys that, to use that method of finding. And it's surprising how good they do. Patrick is what, 11 now? And he makes change, he'll make change in his head before the person at the counter gets it done in most cases. You'll go up to a drive-through window or something, he'll know what the change is coming back before they calculate it.
There's a lot of them. They got no idea whether they got the right change or what they have. I run into that in the Civilian Conservation Corps. Our canteen steward quit on us. His dad died and his mother asked him to come home. It didn't give us a chance to break in anybody. And the education advisor suggested that we took the boy with the highest IQ. But that boy with the highest IQ didn't know a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Had no idea about...
numbers wasn't his game.
About making change. I had to complete the inventory. I was the exchange officer. I had to complete the inventory every day after he done it. He was always from 5 to 25 cents off on the inventory every day. And I complained to the first sergeant and I said, I'd sure like to have somebody that could take an inventory and come out, because I had to make good the money that was missing, see. He said, I'll stand and watch them make change, and the kids would get on to the game, they'd probably give them $1 bill, and by God, you'd give them $1.10 or $1.20 in change.
Yeah, they could take advantage of them.
Yeah. I finally had to give them up. Wasn't any good, and then I got a boy from northern Minnesota, stump jumper. And he was,
How did you pick him?
it took him 3 hours, 4 hours to take inventory, but it was right on the money every time. Well, I finally got so that he brought it up so that just like that guy with a high IQ, he done it in record time too, but without any mistakes.
Yeah. What? How did you pick that guy?
Oh, I don't know. I just looked at him and thought that he was all right. That's all.
Yeah, that's one way.
His IQ wasn't very good. It wasn't on the bottom by no means, but it wasn't anywhere near the top either. As somebody that was interested in, that could devote their time to it. That's all they done when they were exchange stewards. They took care of the inventory in the camp exchange. But you see, the one that had the high IQ, he could do the inventory in 35, 40 minutes. Then he had the rest of the day to do as he damn pleased. But this guy then spent all day on it. To start with, where he spent all day.
But it was accurate when he was done.
Oh, I never monkey. I never put out a nickel to that guy.
Yeah. That's the difference.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that when the first sergeant said he can't make change, I said, well, that's no problem. I can teach him. Oh, my God, I couldn't teach him.
You can't teach some people to make change.
I think that I had in my mind that there wasn't such a thing that you couldn't teach somebody something to do. And it wasn't that damn hard to do. Oh,
Yeah.
my God, he couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You realize after a while that people just can't learn certain things. And they might be real good at something else, but they won't learn
that's
something.
true. But they're going to be so damn helpless with those computers that they aren't going to be able to do a damn thing. I don't know what. Well, there wouldn't be anything I could do to. If he run a computer now, I wouldn't know what to do to straighten them out.
Well, it's gotten to be to the point that a lot of things are so complicated that you couldn't possibly do it in your head, no matter.
Oh,
Calculations.
Yeah,
There's
well, then you get
calculations for almost all the industry now, and all the aeronautical stuff and everything is so complicated.
Yeah.
It would take you days to sit and figure it out by hand. You have to have a computer to do it in a few seconds. So, I suppose it's gotten to be at the point that a lot of things are like that. Your own personal life, your own buying and selling, you know, goods and buying groceries and everything, you get a hand for it there. But as far as a lot of the other stuff, the computer has got it whipped. What kind of pets did you have when you were a kid?
pets, did they?
Yeah.
Dogs,
Well,
cats.
we had dogs and cats on
And
the farm.
Those that are a little more advanced had a Shetland pony, and the dogs is various size. You know, they come all from those Newfoundland to just a little rat terrier.
The dog wasn't useful as much as they were a pet, or were they more useful
God,
for herding cattle?
They were useful. When I had a good dog, would they'd send me out in the pasture to bring home the milk cows, and the dog would, if it was the right kind of a dog, he'd pick out the the milk house and bring them over to me. You know,
Yeah.
just, they wouldn't monkey around with a heifer or a calf or anything like that. They just go over in that bunch and
Get the one they wanted.
yeah. And they wouldn't bite them or raise hell with them either.
Yeah.
Oh God, they must.
But did most people have useful dogs, or were they
Well,
or were they just pet dogs? A lot of them.
They were scrub dogs. They weren't they weren't purebred or anything like that. But
Most of them
they
were
were
trained.
they're all trained to do something. Either take care of sheep or calves or even horses. Some of them would take care of horses. You know. And if they got good enough at it, why, you have to go down to the barn and open the barn door and wave your hand and tell the dog to go and get him, and by God, they'd bring him home.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They'd bring home every damn one of them, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
So, you know, some of them rushed them, or milk cows, you take your time, you know, if the cows were 1.5 miles or so away from home,
Yeah.
you couldn't put a dog on them and chase them all the way because they wouldn't give down the milk.
Yeah.
And they had quite a time separating a good dog from a bad one.
Yeah, that's a. Did you have any, like we had deer for pets there for a while, and crows and stuff. Did you have stuff like that when you were little?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had badgers. My dad would, and his helper would hunt coyotes in the spring. They got $5 a piece. Bounty on coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a mother coyote would have 5 or 6 pups. So they get $30 for digging out a den and take them into town and to the auditor
Mm-hmm.
and get this money. So once in a while, just for the heck of it, one year we saved a coyote, and we had a chain, a leather strap around his neck, and then a chain, a metal chain.
Like a dog chain, huh?
Yeah. And my mother and I were the only two that could get up to him and touch him. My dad, no anybody else, he'd be ugly as all that stuff. So we kept him for a year. And then of course when he got a little older, why he dug a hole. Oh, I suppose the hole was 4 or 5 feet. Not straight down, but at a slant. And then the next year came along where they dug out a badger den. So we had 2 small badgers, just little bits of things. My dad brought them home and they turned them loose in these damn holes for the coyote had dug. They got...
Were they pets then? They stayed
Yeah,
there?
they were real pet. Yeah. And they were so anxious to go along down to the river and fish. My dad would get a sucker or a bullet and just hold it over to the edge of the bank. The bank was concave. And my dad would just egg them on. But see, the badger's always heavy in front. They keep on until they
Got too close to the edge.
outweighed the back end and they'd fall in the water. They'd get back out and shake themselves and go at it again.